Good afternoon, everyone. So I take care of, like she said, I take care of trainings and certifications on CA products, right? So I just want to add that. So today I'm going to talk to you about keeping the teams on track, on time and on budget with the help of trainings, how you can do that, how you can achieve it, right? So I'm going to start up with this laughter bite, right? And I'm covering two cases over here, which incidentally happen to be the real world scenarios. And I'm sure at some point or the other, there are project teams who have gone through this. When they're talking with each other, they're talking a different lingo. When they are talking to the boss, they're talking a different lingo. And typically the message that goes to the boss is completely different. It's completely diluted. And then the other situation that we have over here is typically the corporate dilemma. This is not just the only corporate dilemma. There are many more things associated with this, but just to give you an overview of this is the most important dilemma that the corporates have, and it is related to attrition. What happens if we train our guys? Once we train them, they will move out. But the bigger question is what happens if these guys stay back with you, right? So with that thought, I'll just start off. So why should we train teams, right? Quite simply, to lower the risk of project failures, and the teams that get trained, they spend less time on support calls and firefighting issues, right? This results into increase in their productivity, faster response times, and it ultimately translates into accelerated ROI from the investment that you have made in the softwares. Now, I've got this, and it's switched off. All right, got it back. I think I pressed the wrong button. Okay, so I've got this amazing slide over here. This is a IDC survey data that we have. If you look at this data, and guys, this data does not lie. This is a survey data. IDC supports it. They have done a whole lot of groundwork on this. So 1 hour of training saves at least 5 hours of lost productivity. This is huge. And lost productivity over here really means the amount of thousands of dollars which have been spent, which have been lost because of outages or delays, which are indirectly or directly related to the capability issues within the teams. And then the other thing, so 21%, less time. Trained teams are spending, they spend 21% less time in terms of, fixing issues. They're more productive. Untrained users require 6x more support. That's a whole lot of, 6x is huge. It's a whole lot of productivity lost over there. And over a period of time, this results into 25% of degradation in terms of their performance. So believe it or not, every project manager understands, 80% of the project managers, they understand how critical training is to the success of their projects. Yet in organizations, trainings are put on a back burner, right? There are quick fixes which are initiated within the teams, on-the-job trainings, which doesn't really give you the skill. And this goes on to a point where things just go out of hand. When customers reach a tipping point, that's when they decide that okay, we need help, and that is what needs to be plugged in. So you would agree that many years back we used to calculate loss of productivity in terms of number of days, right? Today, with the digital economy that we have, the loss of productivity is calculated in seconds, even in milliseconds for some businesses, and even further, right? So quite simply, it is extremely important that you have trained people on your team. And it's not just the training which is important. It's also getting your people certified. That's another important thing. So here's a comparison over here. The support staff who has been certified has more core domain knowledge than a person who has, who's been trained and who has 3 years of experience. So it goes on to say that, when you get your teams certified, it adds a certain level of credibility to you, for your customers, for your users. It creates that trust that, yes, you have that knowledge. You can take this project to an implementation and complete it. So I want to talk about the capability maturity model over here. Typically, companies prefer to be in the lower left quadrangle. They decide that they're going to do the trainings on their own, and then things go out of hand. Then they move on, to the next quadrangle, next section, which is, they try to do things themselves. And a point comes when they start firefighting issues. They start looking for quick fixes. They start getting, people on the team, consultants on the team, and very expensive consultants on the team. And that's the way they try to find out a solution. So typically, a small investment which could have been done in the beginning now translates into a whole lot of investment in terms of getting experts and consultants to firefight those issues and situations, and customers who have high level of frustrations, or users who are suffering to that. So at CA, what we want you to be in the upper right quadrangle, and that's where our focus is. And we understand that all our customers have different needs. Some customers are looking for, they have different requirements. They have different environments. They want training specific to the environments. They have different budgets. And in this space, CA is doing a lot. We have rolled out a number of initiatives, programs, which suit the requirement of all our customers. So to tell you, CA has a channel on YouTube, and I don't know how many of you know about it. Do you know about the channel that we have? The channel is called Educate by CA Technologies. On that channel, we have a whole lot of YouTube videos, which are all technical videos. They're all technical. They talk about technical topics on every technology. And there are, I think, hundreds of videos over there now. So a customer who wants a quick information on a particular component or activity that they're doing, they can access over there, quickly get that information. Other than this, we've got trainings which are on demand. We can instantly deliver those trainings to you. Those on-demand trainings are then complemented by dynamic labs. So every person who goes on and does the on-demand training, they get access to our dynamic labs, where they can do a lot of hands-on exercises, and get that exposure. It's not, our on-demand trainings are very, very in-depth trainings. And then we have our instructor-led trainings, right? And it allows a whole lot of interactivity in the class. Students are able to ask questions. So it is a completely different level of learning that you get over there. So, when we train our customers, we did this internal check, and we found out that, customers who really got trained by us, we saw 35% reduction in the support calls that they were doing. And this is big. This is a whole amount of saving, in terms of productivity. And, until we actually, reach a world, until we get to a world of, Terminator and Skynet, I hope everybody's seen that movie, right? Terminator. So that was the first movie in the 90s which came out with the concept of, machines taking over humans, right? But until we get to that stage, it is our people, it is our teams who are going to support us, who are going to manage the solutions, who are going to run the applications for us, who are going to develop the applications for us. And it is extremely important for us to put those resources together to train those guys. At CA, we've got very experienced instructors. They have a whole lot of experience in terms of the project management. They come from various technical backgrounds. They are multi-skilled. They're all certified. And the trainings that we've been doing, we've been typically getting almost about 94% plus rating from customers in terms of the satisfaction. Our content is award-winning. We have won a lot of awards from various companies which do this, and so basically the testing that the courses that we have, we have in terms of the education delivery. So okay, this is the awards that I was talking about, the Brandon Hall Awards that we've got. All right, so we've got a lot of delivery methods which I currently covered about the on-demand and all. So the question comes is how does CA help us in this entire scenario? So we have skills to evaluate your teams. We can do skill and need assessment for your teams, followed by we can do, based on the gap that we see, we can set up a learning path for your teams. And they can go through that learning and then move on to certifications. So our certifications are, they're with the Prometric. Just like the Prometric, we have a tie-up with Criterion, and they're globally valid certifications. So in terms of the courses that we offer, we have various levels of courses. We have level 100, which is typically a training which is going to give you an overview of our technology, which will talk about what the features are and give you a good background. Then we have the level 200 trainings, which are more for administrators and implementers. The level 300 trainings go further deeper. They talk about optimizations, customizations, particularly specifically to your environments. And then we have the level 400 trainings, which are more for the post-implementation kind of a scenario. So once you have everything going on, you're looking for additional functionalities to be added, or you're looking for doing something else. So that's where this part comes in. So I was talking about certifications. CA has got 2 levels of certifications. One is the business analyst certification, which is for the post-implementation scenario where the entire software has been implemented. And the certified professional certification, which is more for administrators and implementers. So certifications are actually available on the fly. Your teams can go and do these certifications at any time. They can log on to Criterion website and do the certifications. But it is our recommendation that before you go in for the certifications, you go through our courses, because our certifications require a very high passing percentage. Right. So I've come to the end of my slide, and I would just like to leave you guys with a thought that don't look at education, don't look at training your teams as a one-off thing. It is, it has to be planned properly. It is not something that you have to do, before you go live or after you go live. I think both the phases are very important. You need to have trained teams in both the phases, and the trainings have to be properly planned. They have to be of a certain quality. They have to be done in a timely manner. So it is a continuous journey, and that's where we should be looking at for our teams. So thank you, everyone. I think I tried connecting with all of you offline, and I'm sorry if I didn't connect with some of you, but I'm open to questions that you have, or I can answer your questions offline as well.
Yeah,
Any questions?
So you talked about various certifications. So the course content for all these certifications and those trainings is available on the web, or
Yes,
or is it there on the Criterion site itself?
So we have all the information available on CA website, and you've got links over there. You click on, so you go to a certification page on CA website. It's very simple, ca.com/education. And under there, you'll find certifications link, which will take you to the certification page. Any other questions? Thank you so much. Oh, sorry, please. See, it is one way of measuring this is that when we get into the account, when we look at training your teams, we first understand what is the current skill level, right? So we do a skill gap analysis. Based on that skill gap analysis, we know that where are the shortcomings and what kind of trainings that they have to do. Once we do those trainings, you automatically would see a certain level of knowledge that your teams get. I mean, we've got customers who have realized the value of education to such an extent that now their teams are asking for advanced trainings, and they've literally gone from can this be done? Is this possible? To I've done this and I want to do this, right? So that is one way that we assess that where the skill levels are and where they're going. And then from a productivity standpoint, we can also look at the kind of support calls that your teams are logging, and what is the change in those in the trend that we are getting over there. So these are some ways that we can figure out the productivity. Right. Thank you, everyone.